Here at the Creek Walk Commons location on 324 West Water Street in downtown Syracuse. You know what I love about our friendship is the fact that I have the fisherman's hats, and people would look at me growing up like, "Are you really gonna wear that? Aren't you afraid that someone's gonna make fun of you?" I have a Disney one and I have a Marywood one, and down in Disney right now they have Star Wars ones that are teal. It's kind of like the Jaguars color, but also my grandmother's color, that teal aqua, and G Mama. So yeah. It says like I don't know, Rebel Leader or something like that. And I tried it on. I don't like that it's like $40, but I thought I tried it on, and Carrie and I were down there, and I put it on, and I just looked at her and I was like, I love these hats. So of course I love the hats. I feel like the only person in the world that wears them besides fishermen. And in walks one of my best friends wearing his same bucket hat. So I love it.
For me, it's just representation. I mean, it's funny. I mean, I got back from Vegas with my girlfriend 2 weeks ago, and all the pictures that we post on social media, things of that nature, I'm always representing my Philadelphia Eagles. I'm always representing my Syracuse University City and my Orangemen. Yeah. You know what? So as long as I wear my Eagles, I can wear my orange. I usually have an orange shirt on. For me, it's about being proud of of what I represent, where I come from, and the things that made me happy, back in the day. So I have no problem. I like the hat. It keeps the sun off you. It's a nice hat. It's a stylish hat. And I don't do anything to impress anybody. I do things that make me feel good, and make me happy, and make me smile every day. So if someone expects me to wear something, wear a certain shirt, a certain amount of clothing, to fit their needs of me, that'll never be me. I'm not that person.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And I was saying that I love the most is you and I have a lot of similarities. Mm-hmm. We like a lot of the same movies. We laugh at a lot of the same stuff. And we really, when it comes down to the nitty gritty, we have faith, but we understand that humans are flawed. Mm-hmm. And we see a lot of things eye to eye, which I love about our bond, because it really started, it started the day we met. Mm-hmm. But, to see this hat today, I was like, man, Rob couldn't get more me if he tried, and I couldn't get more Rob if I tried.
I tell it to the kids I train, I tell it to my children, because it was told to me by my grandmother. It's it's always be yourself.
Yeah.
Because when you're yourself, you never have to change who it is you are. You can go out there and act silly, you can go out there and act sad, you can go out there and act happy, and if people don't like you for who you are, they're not meant to be in your life.
Well, and then you never have to remember
you are,
what you said to somebody, because the reality of it all is if you tell the truth every time, then you don't have to worry about what did I say to that person, what did I say to that person. So that's really the beauty of it all as well, is that you don't have to, when you tell the truth, you don't have to remember what you said.
No, you do not.
And so I think that's a beautiful thing. And it was funny because yesterday when I was getting ready to do some yard work, which Lord knows I love that, when I was getting ready to mow the lawn, and I had a dandelion farm in the backyard, I had my hat, I had my fisherman's aka bucket hat on, whatever. I had my Marywood one on yesterday because when I left and went down to Florida, I had actually had it on my table. I must have just had it on before I left. And so it was the first thing that I put it on yesterday when I was doing my thing. So I just find it awesome. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, of course it's got an eagle on it. So fly, Eagles, fly. So how are you feeling about the Eagles draft? They traded up. They got some players. They did some things. They actually did to Baltimore what they did to Dallas a few years ago, where right before somebody's supposed to pick, they jump and they grab somebody. And they ended up picking up one of the guys that I thought the Ravens were going to take, one of the inside defensive linemen. So I thought it was interesting with Philadelphia that they, a couple of years ago to Dallas, took Dallas Goedert, and then in this runaround, they did it with a D lineman that I thought was going to go to Baltimore. And so it's kind of like they gauge, all right, this is our guy, this is where we want him, and then they take that one jump to steal him away.
My take on the entire Eagles draft is that basically you can go back to college and look at it from a standpoint of the intelligent student. Yeah. Against not against, but as compared to as compared to the athlete. the Philadelphia Eagles had an absolute academic draft. I mean, check all the boxes. I mean, good. I mean, from defensive line, safety, to linebacker, to filling a need at wide receiver, to just everything just down the line, to getting the free agent from I think this guy is Bradbury, the cornerback from the Giants. To just everything is just they get an A+. Let's see how well that translates into the athlete. Let's see how well these guys play. Let's see how well these guys come together and can be cohesive. So unless they can play together, unless they come well and do things that correlate to them being because like the academics of it, they look great. But we need to get to the talent part of it and see how well these guys play together and if they possibly can, because the NFL is a different monster within itself.
Yeah, and the guy that I was talking about that they jumped up and picked at 13th overall is actually one of the players that I covered in the college football playoff was Jordan Davis, the D tackle from Georgia. Yeah. So I mean and then they went back to another guy that I was covering in the college football playoff that I thought was in the top 2 linebackers in the draft was Nakobe Dean.
Nakobe Dean's a special player. So,
and you think about it, like, y'all went a lot of defense. Yes. And, let's be real about Philly's defense. It hasn't been scary in a while.
It hasn't. I mean, I think that the problem with the Eagles is that they can always get very, very talented front seven. They can always get very talented but undersized and not explosive linebackers. But their secondary, hasn't been, that strong, since the days of Troy Vincent and what's the other? I forget the other cornerback they had in Scott. But anyway, back
Dawkins.
Vincent was before Dawkins. But I mean, just the days now. Now they have a secondary, that can play with anyone. So as I said before, X and O'ing paper doesn't matter. You have to see how well they play together, and if they can come together and play great as a team in order to win a championship, because that's hard.
What is your take on Dallas? I know you're not a fan.
Really?
I know you're not a fan.
Really?
But do you just take an impartial look at it? Is Dak Prescott
really? No, go ahead.
The Dak Prescott question: is he elite?
No.
Can he win a championship?
I think he can win a championship. Okay. Yes, because he's talented. He's a very, very good player. He's coachable. He checks all the boxes. If I can use an analogy, but Dak Prescott just, I don't know, for some reason I don't just think he's in the position, and I don't blame Dak. You know who I blame?
Who?
Jerry Jones. If Jerry Jones would just let his coaches coach and his players play, they'd be fine. But he's always got to be in the mix. It's always got to be, if something's got to be about him. Like Jerry Jones, there's a reason that you hired guys, to build your team to be able to play in Dallas in a stadium that you spent exorbitant amounts of money on, so let them play, let them do what they do. But he's got to be the focal point, and as long as he keeps himself as a focal point, they'll never be successful. Robert Kraft, once he kept himself out of the noses of what Bill Belichick was trying to do, all of a sudden he started to win after win after win after win. Yeah. That makes Robert Kraft a lot of money, and it makes him look good because he's the figurehead of his team. But let Bill Belichick, let Tom Brady, let the players be the ones that go out there and be your mouthpiece. Jerry Jones can't do that. He's got to be the mouthpiece, and that's his problem.
I agree with you. I think Jerry has been Dallas's biggest problem for decades.
Since he fired Tom Landry.
So I mean, I definitely, I think if he had stayed upstairs with Jimmy Johnson, there would have been at least 2 more Super Bowls. I think they would have had 5.
I completely agree.
So I think we live in a strange world with that. Let me ask you this question about the NFL. We're here with Rob Drummond, Syracuse CFL and NFL alum, Central New York native. Myself, Dan Tortora, Central New York native. You can call me DT. And we're here at Cafe Kubal, Creek Walk Commons, 324 West Water Street, giving you a bonus show. We're going to get into a lot of the stuff about Syracuse and the changes and whatnot from Cafe Kubal. But we're talking about a little bit of everything. If you've ever heard any of my conversations with Rob, we go everywhere. It truly is where sports meets life, and that embodies Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora's motto and tagline. So I want to ask you this, because I was hearing people talk about it yesterday, and I like to kind of drive around and get some thoughts on what other people are thinking about some of the topics out there. And Aaron Rodgers is not at OTAs, and there are people arguing that he should be there. There's people arguing that he shouldn't be there. I have a kind of a universal approach to it, but I don't want to load my question. I'll give my response after. Should Aaron Rodgers be at OTAs, yes or no?
I mean, that's really not a question for me to answer for as far as Aaron Rodgers himself, because Aaron Rodgers is his own man. I can tell you from my perspective, if I'm looking up to someone and I expect someone to be, the leader of my team, here you have a quarterback who's the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, and you have a bunch of young guys and a younger team that looks up to him, that needs more reason to look up to him than to believe in him, and he's showing up, not showing up to OTAs. That's not a good sign. When your leaders, take time off and think about themselves, which is selfish, as opposed to the team, and especially when you're the highest paid quarterback, not just in the NFL, ever, one season, ever, Aaron Rodgers, and that's what he wanted. You got what you wanted, but now you're still acting like a spoiled brat. It says a lot about Aaron Rodgers.
Well, and the thing too about Aaron Rodgers is, he's
huge ego.
Well, and we see that more now because
huge ego.
You're making $50 million.
They're going to have a problem with Aaron Rodgers going forward. They really, really are.
Well, and the thing is, you give him $50 million, and then within, 3 days, Devontae Adams is gone. His number one target, his weapon, his guy is gone. So, I mean, you think about it like this. Tom Brady's making bank now. But he wasn't making that money in the past because he understood if you want to build a team, you want to build a championship, you can't take $50 million.
But here's the thing with Tom Brady. Tom Brady's not making what he's worth. Tom Brady's always taking less money so he can field a team that can make themselves competitive and be in that championship run. Aaron Rodgers, there's a reason why Aaron Rodgers only has one Super Bowl in the past whatever gazillion years.
But that's what I'm saying.
He's played. Because Aaron Rodgers is and has always been selfish.
Well, and that's the thing, and then that's what I'm saying is how do you think you're going to build a championship team taking that amount of money from the team? You're taking $50 million of their money and a season, and you want to build a championship caliber team. That means Aaron Jones got to take next to nothing. That means your receivers. Now they did get the receiver I wanted. I wanted them to get Christian Watson out of North Dakota State.
I like that kid.
I think he's
got a lot to prove.
He's like 6'5".
He's young, underrated talent. But I think he's got a lot of upside.
So I mean, hails from Tampa, Florida. Mm-hmm. So I mean, he's got something to give to this. Alan Lazard, they took off the practice squad in Jacksonville. Aaron Rodgers likes him. He went up the charts. But they don't have Marquez Valdez-Scantling anymore. They don't have Devontae Adams anymore. Randall Cobb is still there. He's like 117 years old. Yeah. But the question to me, going back to OTAs, is whether or not you should. Listen, I'm not, like you said, I'm not going to speak specifically for anybody. I'm going to use Aaron Rodgers as an example to talk about what I consider to be a blanket statement, and my blanket statement is simply this. If you're on the team, you should be at practice.
When your leader sets a tone for activities that you're supposed to do as a team, don't be mad when other players start doing the exact same thing. So if I'm a player now and Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to show up to OTAs, why should I?
Well, and that's how I feel.
It's like, so now you're telling me as a teammate that he's, granted, he's a quarterback, things of that nature, but why should he be treated any different than me? At the same time, our trophy's not going to say Aaron Rodgers on it if we win the Super Bowl. Our trophy's going to be Super Bowl champions. So we win this you win as a team, you lose as a team.
Yeah.
And right now, so Aaron Rodgers is setting an example. So do not be mad. Do not be upset when other players start following accord to doing the exact same thing he's doing.
I don't think there's any chance. I'm going to make a bold statement here right now to some people, but I truly believe this. I don't believe that there is any chance that Aaron Rodgers will ever win a Super Bowl in Green Bay again.
No, there's not a chance in hell. Not an absolute.
Not the way he's doing it.
Not the way he's acted the last 3 or 4 years. Aaron Rodgers is selfish and only cares about one thing. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And then the thing, but it's like, at what point do we get to say like, oh, you don't have to go to OTAs, like you don't have to care? Deshaun Watson doesn't even know if he's going to play, and he's training right now.
I mean, it's just, I'm not a Tom Brady fan. But I have the utmost respect for Tom Brady for the simple fact that Tom Brady took less money than he was. I mean, that legally should have been his. Because he was that good. He took less money so he could build a team that could be competitive. I have utmost respect for guys like that. Tom Brady could easily be making 50, 60, 70 million dollars a year right now, but he doesn't want that because you know what he wants to do? He wants to win.
Yeah.
Granted, he has a wife that makes $60 million a year, and that helps, but still, it's a simple fact that Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowl rings for a reason. Because he's Tom Brady, and he is the way he is. He took less money so other guys can be on the team. Aaron Rodgers won it. All about me. Devontae Adams is not on the Green Bay Packers right now. And you want to know why? Because of Aaron Rodgers.
Well, and that's the thing is you thought that, you know, that was his quarterback, right?
The best wide receiver in the game, arguably, because, you know,
Right.
Cooper Kupp is in the same conversation, you know. But Cooper Kupp has to do more for the next 2 or 3 or 4 years, and I can put him in that conversation. But for 1 year, yes, great. But for right now, Devontae Adams is a special player, and he's not on the Green Bay Packers for the simple fact of Aaron Rodgers went that whole diva route for the last 2 or 3 years, and he had had enough.
Well, and that's the thing. You look at this now, and you say to yourself, he would rather play with Derek Carr.
Yep.
And the thing is, Derek Carr's talented, but he's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not Tom Brady. He's not Pat Mahomes. He's not Justin Herbert, but he's talented.
He's not going to deal with the drama.
Right. And well, now he doesn't have to.
These athletes don't want drama in their life. You know, if I can avoid drama as much as I can, I take less money, to not deal with drama than you give me a ton of money and I have to deal with that drama every single day. Drama is stressful and stress kills.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. And then we learned that, and I know that, you know, stress will amplify everything in your life.
Yes, it will.
And in not the good way. And so, you know, you have to learn from that. You have to take something from that. And I don't know, like, because then people ask the question, at what point, what status are you, and how do you know that you're at that status when you could tell the coaches, like, I'm not coming to practice and I'm cool on that. I mean, and listen, they lose money, and it's funny, they can lose somebody's salary.
Yes.
For like 30 grand, and then somebody's making 30 grand a year, and if they tell Aaron Rodgers, you know, you don't come to practice, you're gonna lose 30,000 a practice, he's like,
Doesn't bother
all right,
me.
cool.
I mean, to me, it was just.
And to me, that's disrespectful to the fact that, like, there's people that are living off of $30,000.
I mean, I explain to people all the time. It was tough some mornings getting up and having to go practice, you know, and especially during training camp, which was brutal back when I played, you know, with Buddy Ryan down there in Westchester, PA.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just waking up, and I would always walk into that field, and I would always say to myself, you know, and it was just a personal conversation with myself. It's like, you know what, you're doing something that, you know, probably 99% of the planet would love to be doing, you know, and it's like you were blessed enough to be able to be out here, you know, and have fun and get paid a lot of money to do what it is you love to do. So I never complained once I got in the field. I was like, you know what, Robert, you can walk off this field and you can quit anytime you want, but if you love this game, you're going to go out there and give it the hardest effort you possibly can. And I did that every single day when I walked onto the field. I didn't want to be there, you know, but when I was there, I realized why I was there. I was there for a purpose. I was talented and blessed enough by God to be able to play a sport that I love. So show up and play. I can go down a list and name you the most selfish quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, for my goodness, from Kyler Murray, you know, to Aaron Rodgers, you know, to Baker Mayfield. I mean, oh my goodness, these guys, all they care about is me, mine. What you gonna do for me? It's like, holy smoke. Why don't you play a game that you're blessed to play, you know, and have fun with it, and let the chips fall, and look at someone like Tom Brady who did it the team's way, and he's 7 Super Bowl wins. You guys have 1, 2, 3, maybe between you. Do it like, I mean, they don't get it. It's all about, it's a different generation of athlete. It truly is.
Well, and I think it's funny, too, because we talk about Aaron Rodgers signs that big contract, almost, you know, like $50 million.
It was an ego contract.
And there's no Devontae Adams.
It was an ego contract.
Pat Mahomes signs almost $50 million. Where's Tyreek Hill?
Yeah.
So you got arguably 2 of the top 5 receivers in the nation that don't want to play with the quarterbacks that are making the most money. What does that say?
I mean,
Tyreek Hill wants to play with Tua more than he wants to play with Pat Mahomes?
You're about to see a different Tyreek Hill because Tua is not Patrick Mahomes.
No, they're going to need to just pitch it to Tyreek and let him go. But
good luck with that.
But I mean, it's a very interesting world when we see these elite running back or elite wide receivers that are leaving after their quarterbacks sign big deals. Understanding, hey, you know what? I'm not going to get paid if I stay here. I'm not going to get respected the way I want to get respected if I stay here. What's your take, though, on the wide receivers that are saying, okay, like they're looking at the market going, well, if you pay him that, then I'm better than him. You got to pay me that. I want this, I want that. And the guys that are kind of putting themselves in situations to say, I'm the best. Well, if you gave Tyreek Hill that money, then I want, like in the case of Deebo Samuel, who allegedly wants to leave San Francisco. Do you agree with the way? Now, this is alleged. We're not in the room with Deebo. For argument's sake, if Deebo is saying to them, look at my numbers, look at what I've done, I've set NFL history with my receiving yards and my rushing yards in a season, I think I'm the best, so whatever the best is, if it's 24 or 27, I want 28. What are your thoughts on Deebo, especially in a situation where they don't really know who their quarterback's going to be?
I mean, I like Deebo Samuels and athletically as an athlete and how he plays the game 100 miles an hour, but I mean, I never sit here as a former athlete myself and sit here and dictate to a man or a woman, what it is their value is and what it is their worth is.
Yeah.
You know what? They should go out there and get all the money you can, because I mean, I say even with Patrick Mahomes' contract, you look at Patrick Mahomes' contract, it's over $500 million. My goodness, these owners have enough money to pay a player $500 million. How much money do these owners have? So if you can get as much money as you can from these owners in a sport that's statistically been killing athletes, or athletes have been dying from with the disease CTE, said get as much money as you can. But in a situation you have to understand, yes, it's a team sport. You put I think the owners should be more forthright and more giving. So when they see these guys going out there and just because these guys have these exorbitant contracts doesn't mean they're not doing marketing, and doing viable work to bring financial aid into these owners, because they're making a lot of money off these players. So pay the players their value and pay them their worth. So if you're a good owner, you'll understand that, you'll get that. I mean, what can you do with $10,000 that you can't do with $5,000? So if an owner gets is getting an extra $10 million, split that amongst your players, because you have so much money coming in regardless. That doesn't even matter. So that's my take and my feel on that. You start treat people with respect, and they'll respect you and do all they can for you and your organization.
But as part of an NFL team, if you had a player holding out for more money and y'all were practicing, what was the dynamic like with that player if and when that player came back to practice? If they're saying, hey, you know what? Like, I heard Rob makes this, and I heard, I heard this guy's making that. I heard Reggie White got that. I heard this. How do you... Have you been in a situation like that, and how do you deal with a situation when you're on a professional team, and couple of the guys are like, you know what, I'm not coming to practice until I get my money? I mean,
it's not a tough situation from a player standpoint, because from a player standpoint, we're always going to side with the players. Go out there and get what you earn, bro. Honestly, it's like, you think they owe you that, you hold out, because at the end of the day, I don't see owners dying from CTE. I see former players dying from CTE. So we're playing a sport that can kill us. So if you feel that in your heart that you need more money to protect your family in the long run, things of that nature, hold out, bro. Do what you need to do, take care of it. We'll hold this down until you get back. So I'm always going to side with the players.
Because, was there ever a moment where there was infighting, though, in the locker room with somebody going like, listen, come back. Like, we need you now?
Never seen that. But at some point, man, as grown men, you never get involved in the affairs of another man's money. That's something that's taboo. If another man's arguing about money, whether it be football, whether it be basketball, baseball, soccer, whether it be the corner store job, when a man's dealing with his money and the owner in a situation, leave that alone. You let that go, because as grown men, that's something he has to handle, because that's his lifestyle, not yours.
I appreciate that sentiment very much so, and at the same time, when we look at this, the holdout, right? I'm not coming to practice, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. During the season, what's your stance on that as a former player? If a player's not happy and they just are like, you know what, I'm not going on the field.
Pay him. It is what it is. Next man up. If we have our star player holding out, then there's not. This is not tennis. It's not just one player out there in the field. There's 11 guys on defense. 11 guys on offense. So somebody else on the bench, or whether it be a free agent, somebody we sign, has to step up until we get our guy back. But for right now, I told you, I'm going to always side with the player. There's a lot of egoism in it. That's definite. But at the end of the day, get your money, because these owners are making These players may be making millions, even hundreds of millions. These owners are making billions, so they can afford it.
Well, the thing I found interesting in baseball, and this was kind of like showing your hand by mistake, is that the owners were, talking about how they didn't want to give the players allegedly wanted their salary for the whole year, and the coach and the owners were saying, let's do like a prorated thing, an abridged salary because we're not playing all the games.
They wanted it in the beginning.
Not prorated, but they were like saying to them, prorated, not that. Let me word this better. So what they were saying was, we're not going to play 162 games. So the owners were saying, if your salary is for 162 games, we're not going to give you your salary because you're not playing 162 games. We're going to give you a percentage of your salary based on how many games we play. And the players were like, no, give us our money. And the owners were talking about, well, we're not going to have ticket sales because we're not having fans, and we're not going to be able to sell hot dogs and burgers and beer and apparel and all this stuff because nobody's going to be in the stadium. So you guys want more. You guys want your money to be normal, but our money's not going to be normal. And then they turn around and paid Fernando Tatis and a bunch of these guys over $300 million contracts in like the beginning of the pandemic, the heat of the pandemic. And I'm sitting here looking at myself going, y'all just told the players you were poor, and then you just signed record-breaking contracts with these players. You can't, like, as an owner, you just told everybody, well, why are we supposed to pay you our salary as normal if we're not going to have any fans coming in to our stadiums? And then you just paid an abnormal high amount of money to a player. So the owners just showed, like, they didn't even need an entire season of baseball to happen. And they lost money, but they're going to be okay.
They make their money off the television contracts anyway. I mean, those are, holy smokes, there's huge deals between CBS and NBC and Fox News and ESPN. And they're making money like hand over fist, And it's like, I'm not a New York Yankees fan, but I see this contractual dispute between Aaron Judge and the upper management of the New York Yankees. And I sit here and say to myself, as a fan of the game, the fan of sports, it's like, what a marketing darling the Yankees have in Aaron Judge. For the simple fact he doesn't get in trouble, he's having a launching year. It's like, pay him the money he's garnering, or his value, because he's worth it, because he's your media darling right now. To lose him would be a bad move for the New York Yankees.
Well, the thing is, when George Steinbrenner was sitting in that chair, everybody got paid.
Got their money.
Everybody got paid.
They made the Yankees.
For goodness sakes, you don't want to pay Aaron Judge what you paid CC Sabathia?
That's insane to me. I don't get why it's taking so long to play someone who's the face of your franchise. It's not as if he's asking for $500 million. He's getting his fair market value of who he is as a player.
I think was underpaid no matter how much he made? Mariano Rivera.
I agree.
Because he wasn't the highest paid Yankee, but he was unanimously voted into the Cooperstown Baseball Hall of Fame.
First ballot vote.
He is the best closer of all time.
Yeah.
He was the last to wear number 42 after they retired it for Jackie Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
Mariano Rivera is timeless.
Yes.
Like, he is baseball, and
it was hard not to like.
Right, and he still wasn't like the highest. And correct me if I'm wrong, I never heard about him having a contract dispute with the Yankees.
I think 1 year.
Maybe toward the end?
It wasn't a dispute, but it was just that him getting extensions, things of the nature, and they were talking about it. But
he never was the guy that they're like, that's the highest paid.
He was consummate Yankee. Bernie Williams, consummate Yankee. Who was the other guy? Derek Jeter. Consummate Yankee.
Yeah. You want to know who they paid? If I'm Aaron Judge, you want to know what I'm saying in that meeting right now? I'm saying 2 words. No, I'm sorry. I'm saying 4 words. You paid Alex Rodriguez. That man didn't do much of anything for you. If it was bottom of the 9th, 2 outs, and Alex Rodriguez was up, I got up and I went and got some ice cream. I knew that was a strikeout.
Giancarlo Stanton's not playing that great right now, and they paid him. So I'm like, Aaron Judge should get his money.
Aaron Judge, he is the face of the Yankees right now.
He is.
In my opinion, by far. You look at the Mets, it's Pete Alonso, right now. But, Jacob deGrom as well. There's certain guys like Mike Trout. When you look at the Angels, there's guys that is the team is them. You know what I mean? Like, that is their identity. And Aaron Judge is the guy, right? He's the one that you buy the jerseys. If you look right now, I would venture to say he's got the most jersey sales. They have his bobblehead night coming up. He is a person that has reinvigorated Yankee fans. He's made some people Yankee fans. Aaron Judge is the face. You pay the face.
What a way for an organization to alienate its best player.
But the thing that's crazy is the Yankees always overpay players. So in what world are the Yankees having trouble paying somebody?
That's just it. You know. I mean,
I'm sorry. Did the taxes go up in New York City?
They know what
we feel them here.
They know what they're doing, and they're alienating their best player, the one that can make them a lot of money. Like you said, from ticket sales, from network shows, from broadcasts, from interviews, from the one that can make them a lot of money, and they're alienating him to where he'll go someplace else in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Of all the Yankees on the team right now, who would you want to watch on Saturday Night Live? Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
That's your answer.
Without question.
Okay. He's the guy that you would watch in an entertainment scenario.
I literally, when I'm flipping through channels, I'm not a baseball fan. I'm a baseball fan, but I don't watch a lot of baseball. But I'm flipping through channels. I watch the Yankees. And if he's up to bat, I'm watching him.
Yeah.
He's
that's the Trout effect.
I'm watching him.
That's the Trout effect. Last year, that was the DeGrom effect. So that's what people watch.
Trout's on the West Coast. I don't watch the West Coast.
But you think about it, though, like, how many people didn't care about, like, what's going on with that? I mean, like, people are Mets fans or whatever. But, like, DeGrom got so many non-Mets fans to watch. Yeah. Because they just loved watching him play.
I haven't watched the Mets since Gary Carter. Not Gary Carter, but Mike Piazza.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
I get what you're saying.
He's one of those guys that makes you sit and go, "Oh, okay."
These are
Pete Alonso. That's
these are guys like from a fan like myself, who's a casual baseball fan, who doesn't know like the ins and outs of teams. Like I know specific players because I watch specific players. And if you'll get that revenue from me from watching television, from the Nielsen rating and things of that nature. If Aaron Judge is up to bat, because I'm watching Aaron Judge.
So you're a baseball fan that's like, you know, like a.
I watch players.
Yeah, right. Okay. So you're one of those. So if you're like the average kind of like, I'll watch it if it's on, but it depends on who it is, whatever. Yeah. Can you name 5 players besides Aaron Judge right now?
On what, the Yankees?
Anything.
In baseball?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Okay. Because I was going to say, like, I feel like people that maybe don't know baseball, like, my point I was getting at is, if you're like the baseball fan to the smallest of a degree, I feel like you know who Aaron Judge is.
I mean, you can't know who the New York Yankees are without knowing who Aaron Judge is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like in Philly, you can't know who the Philadelphia, Phillies are without knowing who Bryce Harper is.
Yeah.
I mean, and his huge contract. Besides the contract, he's producing. He's the face of Philadelphia baseball.
And when you say Phillies, like I start naming off. I didn't grow up a Phillies fan, and I'm naming off all the guys that went, to the World Series and all. I mean, in my head, I'm like Utley, Howard. Like my head just starts rocking and rolling with them.
Who's the greatest Philly ever?
Oh.
Mike Schmidt.
Really? Okay.
Oh, gosh. Well, in my eyes,
okay,
it's Mike Schmidt. I think most Philadelphia fans would say Mike Schmidt. I mean, had a chance.
Who would you say besides Mike Schmidt?
Ooh, that's a tough question. Ouch.
Because I had a name that came to mind, but I don't want to say it. I want to see if you say it. I just want to raw data this thing.
I can tell you who is definitely not. It's not Mitch Williams.
Okay.
That's guaranteed. That guy's a pariah in Philadelphia. But
all right.
Ouch. That'd be tough. I mean, Schmitty. I couldn't even put anybody second next to him. I mean, it's not Bryce Harper. He's too new. It's not Ryan Howard. He had a great year, but then he ended up getting a huge contract and getting injured.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you the first name that came to my mind. Are you ready? Just because, and like this is not coming from a Phillies fan. First name that came to my mind was Jimmy Rollins.
No, not overall.
But like,
he's up.
No, not overall. But like when it's like when you say Phillies, that name came to my head. Ryan Howard, Chase Utley, Jimmy Rollins. Like there were certain names that came into my head, but I'm not talking like the best ever.
Yes.
I'm just saying like. For somebody like you say when people say Yankees, you say Aaron Judge now. Like when you say Yankees to me, like I'll say Whitey Ford. Why? We have the same birthday, October 21st. Is he the best Yankee of all time? No.
I think Reggie Jackson.
All right.
Mr. October.
But there's right, and there's people that'll say Yogi Berra. There's people that'll say Derek Jeter. There's people that'll say Joe DiMaggio.
Yeah.
There's people that'll say Babe Ruth. You know what I mean? Like it's so. What I will say is the home run king to me right now still is Hank Aaron.
I agree. PEDs changed the landscape of how I view records that were broken, by guys that were on them, because it's cheating. It gives you an advantage.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to hit a ball coming at you 100 miles an hour, with accuracy, things of nature, but it still gives you a strength and power advantage.
Right. But and that's the thing what people say is they're like, well, Dan, you still need hand-eye coordination. Yeah, but this is my rebuttal. If it didn't make you better, why would you take it?
I mean, it's still,
You know what I mean?
It gives you an advantage. You can't slightly cheat. You either cheat or you don't.
Right. Yeah, you can make an analogy like, oh, I was with that girl, but
I wasn't really with her.
Yeah.
Talking about
that's exactly how I felt when you said that. But like, no, I get that. But I mean, I think it's really interesting when we talk about paying players or whatnot, because I think it's like if I was the GM right now of the Niners and Debo's like, I'm the greatest receiver in the NFL. I'm like, no, you're not.
No, it's not.
Like, bro, you're a hybrid. Like you could say you're the greatest hybrid, maybe, but Tyreek Hill kind of is. But like, I mean, to me, if you came to me right now and I was the Niners, this is my thing. If I was in the seat, if I was the GM in the seat, if Deebo Samuel said, I want to be whatever the highest receiver's making, I want to make more than that, I would laugh and be like, bro, we're not going to do that.
No.
But like, I'm going to take care of you.
Yes.
But we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's good, but he's not Cooper Kupp. He's not Devontae Adams. He's not DeAndre Hopkins. He's, you know what I mean? Like I have a list of guys that I would look at, paying and taking care of. But in the same respect too, if I was the Green Bay Packers, and you talk about Green Bay, Wisconsin, and small market, and they don't bring in the money that other people bring in, and yet Aaron Rodgers making $50 million. If Aaron Rodgers sat down with me and said, "I'm going to call the shots. I'm not coming to OTAs. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. Like and I want $50 million." I mean, to me, like, yeah, you're Aaron Rodgers, but $50 million, bro? Like, how am I supposed to put a championship team together?
Can I ask you a question?
What?
He's getting $50 million. How many times he's gotten to the NFC Divisional Championship game in the past 5, 6, 7 years?
Oh, that's the thing, and his decision has been horrible. His decision making has been terrible.
So I'm making you the highest paid quarterback,
right?
Basically off of name only.
Number one, number two seed loses
because your results are.
His playoff results are not good.
Not good at all. So why am I paying you all this money? I can get a rookie to do what you did. Right. It's like getting, no pun intended, but getting a bride to the altar and not getting married. It's like, dude, you get him there to the play, scoot into the playoffs. You've had the number one seed in the playoffs the last 2 years. You got bounced.
Yeah.
Bounced.
Yeah.
You're playing at home.
And you couldn't even score.
You got bounced.
But this past year, you couldn't even score.
You got one. You got
Devontae Adams, A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones, and you couldn't even score.
Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowl rings. It still doesn't command the highest salary of an NFL quarterback in the NFL.
He's making bank now, but he wasn't making it before because he got it. And the Patriots don't pay guys like that.
This generation is these athletes are so selfish, so me, mine. It's all about me. But do something. Prove
my thing that I don't get
value.
is you come out your first game in the NFL, like your first game, and you got 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, and like I want $40 million. I'm like, wait, what?
I mean, I don't know if it's true or not, but you hear what Kyler Murray asked for? $70 million a year.
That man's on drugs.
Yeah, he's smoking something strong. I mean, he might.
What's legal in Arizona?
He must be in. No, that's not bad. Mike Tyson's weed ranch out there. I forget what it's called, but or his hemp ranch out there.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray's on something. It's like, you're not worth $7 million a year, young man. Get over yourself. Accomplish something first, and then show us your worth. You haven't showed us your worth. What have you done?
But what is Kyler Murray? But see,
He won 7 games in a row. His team did. Yeah.
Yeah, Chandler Jones had like 6 sacks in one of those games. Like, your defense is good, bro. You have James Conner, dude. Like, and you paid James Conner $1 million. Like, Pittsburgh, how stupid are you to let James Conner go? He took $1 million for 1 year in Arizona.
Yeah, but I like the kid from in Pittsburgh now from Alabama.
Najee Harris.
Najee Harris, yeah. Najee Harris, he's good.
You know what? His numbers are better than I thought they were. Like during the season, because I was kind of dogging him a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. And then I went and looked at his numbers, and I was like, oh, he's better than I thought he was.
He's, I mean, like, you know me. I mean, as a personal trainer myself, I love to watch athleticism.
Yeah.
A lot of times I watch games, and I'm not watching. I don't care about the score, because like, if it's not the Eagles, doesn't affect me. But I just love to watch athleticism. I love to see him jump. I love to see him run. Make cuts, make moves. Watching Najee Harris, he's a special player. That's like Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is a special player.
You just got to stay healthy.
But that's
a part
of sports. So people have to understand that, and being a trainer, it's just that, I psychologically, evaluate people in my own head as I'm watching these players play, and I would say to myself, one of the hardest things. I mean, all right, I played Division I college football at Syracuse. I played in the NFL. I played 15 years professional sports. Blah blah blah. Yada yada yada. Whatever.
Yeah.
The hardest thing I've ever had to do was, just overcome injuries, just the rehabilitation and things of that nature, because that's a part of the game, and people have to factor that in. You have to understand that when a player just walks on the field, and honestly, listen to what I say, 90% of the time you watch an NFL game, 90% of those players are beat up and hurting.
Yeah. Well, I said if you did an actual true injury report, 100% of your players are injured. Because somebody has a bruise or a nail that pulled off, or tailbone injury, or shoulders tight.
You never go into a game feeling 100%.
No.
Never.
How can you?
I've never played a game feeling 100%. My first game of the season, and then after that, my shoulder hurts, my knee hurts, my ankle hurts, my pinky hurts, my wrist hurts, this got pinched, this got pulled.
Well, what did you say to me? You said, put a helmet on, go to the end of your driveway, and run head first into your garage door, and then you said, then back up and do it 300 times. And then you looked at me and you said, that's one NFL game. It's one NFL game. It's 300 times head first into the garage door. Which will hurt? The first time. It's a different world, bro. It's a barbaric sport.
It is. I mean, and it sounds awful that we sit here and explain it that way, but it is. It's a gladiator sport.
It is. But I say barbaric with respect. I'm saying like barbarians. I look at them like they're big muscle dudes. Like they're gonna take you down. Gladiator, like you said, gladiator type sport. I mean, this is like, let's go back to the Colosseum in Italy and let's throw you in the middle of it. I mean, this is, I mean, like you said, when you played, you're like, I was trying to kill somebody.
Yeah. I mean, you can't shy away from pain or injury and be good at.
You actually get injured by not going 100%.
Yeah, not in
when you try to slow it down. But like, I mean, like from your perspective, like you said, get your money, because think about it. How many years you're going to be playing, and different things could happen, and a coach could change, and they could not like you, and they bring in their guy, whatever. So like, to the guys that are Aaron Rodgers and are in their late 30s still playing, there's all these other guys that are gone, right? Jamarcus Russell, number 1 pick, gone. So what's your take on? Okay, I'm going to go to the Cleveland Browns. Now the Cleveland Browns have more drama than a Kardashian. So which is a lot of drama. So they have Deshaun Watson. Okay, here's the timeline. Baker Mayfield has an option on his rookie contract. They pick it up. $18.9 million.
They have no choice.
So, but they pick up the option, right? Then Deshaun Watson, this 2-year hiatus of what the hell is going on. He's healthy, but we're not playing him because we don't know what's going on with these 23 cases with these women. No criminal charges brought against him. Doesn't mean there's not going to be civil retribution, whatever. But there's no criminal charges brought against him. All of a sudden, he goes from the black eye of the NFL to the most highly sought after. I think, do you realize how like overnight Deshaun Watson went from we don't talk about him and we don't touch that, to the next day everybody's like, Deshaun Watson's available and he's a fantastic guy. I was like, wait a minute, he just brought him on 23 criminal charges and they got dropped and now they love him.
It's a business.
Then the Browns take him.
It's a business.
And now the Browns are being told, allegedly, Roger Goodell and his front office said, listen, the criminal charges have been dropped, but that doesn't mean that he can play. So now you have Deshaun Watson,
Oh, no,
and
he'll
you
play.
have Baker Mayfield.
He'll play because he makes them money.
But what do you think about Deshaun Watson and Baker Mayfield and the fact that they couldn't ship Baker anywhere, and allegedly it's because they don't want to pay the majority of his salary in order to move him?
I mean-
so what's your take on it? I mean, what do you think about a team that would have Deshaun Watson, who has drama, and Baker Mayfield, who has drama, in a place that knows drama, Cleveland?
But over the years, Deshaun Watson has showed me, as well as the football world, that he can play the game of football.
Oh, he's good.
He's a top 3 or 4 quarterback in the NFL.
I mean,
Hands down right now.
if he didn't get to play again, that would have been the like worst untold story, because he is that good.
He's an elite quarterback. Baker Mayfield is not an elite quarterback.
But what happens to the locker room if they're both in it?
That's
not a good locker room.
Here's the thing: if, Baker Mayfield keeps saying that the Cleveland Browns are holding him hostage because they won't trade him and they won't cut him. It's like, all right, Baker Mayfield, go up to the Cleveland Browns and be like, you know what? Keep your $18 million, just cut me, and they'll let you go in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
You know what? They have to pay you $18 million. So I'm sorry, if I have to pay you $18 million, you're my commodity.
Right.
I'm not just giving you $18 million out of the goodness of my heart, things of that nature. You've got some value, and that's that $18 million.
Think about what Dan Tortora did. 20-some odd million. He kept Stephon Marbury on the bench. He didn't play him.
Walk up to him and be like, you know what? Keep the $18 million and just let me go where and play somewhere. And they'll let you go in a heartbeat. But he chooses not to do that because it's easy to sit here and be like, they're holding me hostage, they're holding me hostage. No, you're holding them hostage because they owe you $18 million.
Well, he might think in his brain he's never going to make $18 million again.
Well, then that's on him and challenging his own ability and things of that nature. But even with Deshaun Watson, it's like, you know what? I live in a country where I'd like to think that a man is innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
You know, so until
he'll be guilty forever. Somebody's going to think he's guilty no matter what.
Okay, then
Awful.
but I sit here and also say, you know, the highest office in this land is the President of the United States. Donald J. Trump, whatever his name is, I don't know, had 26 sexual assault allegations against him, and he still became president. So don't sit here and judge a man who's sitting there trying to play a sport with a leader of the free world, also charged with, you know, similar heinous crimes, became president. So please, how hypocritical as a society can we become?
Well, the thing that made me uncomfortable is that, you know, people on the Trump side, he got brought up for allegations, and Joe Biden got brought up for allegations. So you got two guys with allegations.
They're allegations,
and yeah.
But you know what? That's why we have court of laws.
Right.
Let the court of public opinion has never put anyone in jail.
If you
we
and I
judge
went
all
on,
of them, but we never put them in jail.
My thing is, if you and I went around touching women that don't want to be touched, we would be in jail.
First of all, I'm not touching that.
I'm saying, if we did, we're not going to get preferential treatment.
No, we're not.
I don't go around and touch anybody.
No.
Listen, my fiance, she knows my fiance. We are together. I respect her. I love her, and I will look her in the eye and be like, you know, baby, do you want? Like, I'm always about, are you comfortable? Are you safe? Do you feel good? Like, I want you to know that I got you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was brought up as a man by two phenomenal women, G Mama and my mom, who said hello. And so, to me, it's like, I respect women. I respect women whether or not they respect me.
Yeah.
Because you treat a woman the way that you want to be treated, and women, you do that to men and back and forth. But that's common sense to me. When I'm in a bar and I don't know a girl, and she's not my cousin, and she's not my sister, and she's not my friend, and she's not my girlfriend, and I see somebody touch her, and I see her go like this, and she's like, please don't touch me, and he goes and does it again, everything inside of me is like, you gotta, like, I can't watch it and just be like, oh, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, if I don't know you and somebody, how does a person think that they have the right to walk up to you and do whatever they want? You know what I mean?
That's how some people were raised.
But that's wrong. And the thing is, but this is the thing with Deshaun Watson, and I'm going to be real about this, and I want to shout out my fiance for saying this. She said, listen, she said, Dan, as a woman, she said, I know the power that the women have. She said, whether he's guilty or innocent, like, she's like, doesn't he get an opportunity to defend himself? And let's say he's innocent. And I said, baby, if he's innocent, I'm telling you right now, we were standing in line in Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. And I said, I'm telling you right now, whether or not he is innocent, we could be standing here right now, and let's say, like, they do all the thing in a trial or whatever, and it ends, I said, we could be standing here in a group of 20, 30 people in this room, and somebody will be going, you know, I know Deshaun got acquitted, but I know he did it.
Yeah.
Because once somebody tells you they did it, there's people that will always believe that they did it, and they will judge you about it. And why do we live in a society where you can just say somebody did something, and then that's got to follow them forever?
That's why I said the court of public opinion means absolutely nothing, because it's someone's. There's a reason that the term opinion is in there. Or the word opinion is in there. It's someone's opinion.
Right.
That's why we have checks and balances in this country. Where you go to court, you get accused of a crime, go to the grand jury, get indicted, blah blah blah, whatever. You go through the system. You either get found innocent or you get found guilty. And that's our court. That's our criminal justice system here in America. What Sally says, or John says, or Mimo, or Bebo, or whoever the hell out there making their comment about somebody else means absolutely nothing to me. Like I said, I mean, I'm not a Trump supporter or Trump fan at all, because of the person he is. But you know what? As far as I'm concerned, in the court of law, that's where he's going to be. That's where he's going to be judged on these cases if he ever goes to trial. I have no problem with somebody going to trial, like the whole Casey Anthony situation. I think Casey Anthony killed her daughter? Yes, I think 100%. But it's like, you know what? 12 jurors said that she was guilty, so I have to live with that, and I have to accept that. And I accept that, because at the end of the day, spiritually, and she's gonna have to deal with God herself. But but as far as monetarily, as far as us as human beings, as us living in the flesh in this world right here, they found her innocent. So I have to accept it. I have to accept OJ's innocent. I have to accept all these police officers that are walking free to where I spiritually and I figuratively know in my heart that they honestly I fear for my life. Against some unarmed person, and you shot and killed this person, and they walk free. I have to understand that a grand jury or someone found them not capable of being indicted. So I have to accept that. I can't change things that that a court system that's been around here long before I was ever born, has dictated to us, and is our rule of law. I always follow the rule of law, because when I follow the rule of law, it won't drive me crazy.
Well, that's the thing, is like, you don't, just because a jury acquits you doesn't mean that God doesn't know what you did. And
we're all going to have to answer to God one day.
Right, and that's the reality to me when somebody's like, I'm free, like I got away with it, whatever. I'm like, you're not free. You just got a temporary, like, listen, when you meet God and he looks at you and I and says, I know what you did, you're going to wish you went to jail. Jail to you going to be like, that's going to be like sitting on a cloud.
I mean, you can go
drinking a margarita.
You can go down the list. I mean, from OJ, Casey Anthony, the Derek Chauvin, it's just like one day we were all going to die, and when it comes time for you to go up to those pearly gates, and and it's your day of reckoning, and God sits there and be like, and ask you, my child, it's like, where do you think you should go? And if you think I should go to heaven, be like, no, let's look at your body of work. And when your body of work has bad things in it, you're in trouble.
Well, I mean, it's like grades, right? You're like, well, I got an A here, but you got an F here, but you got a D here, but you got a B there. What's the overall? I mean, I tell people all the time, you can believe in God, not believe in God. You do you. But when he's here, I'm not going to be in a group going, oh, dang.
No.
You were right. He is real.
Right, I'm not in that group either.
And I think that people that don't believe in something or don't want to believe in something, it's easier for them to hurt people because they don't think there's a repercussion. If I didn't get caught, nobody sees it. Nobody sees it, it's not wrong. Right. And it's like, if I didn't do it, or if I did it but nobody saw it, I didn't do it. And how do you live in a world like that? Like, to me, I have a big conscience. You know what I mean? Like, if let's say I lied, right? Let's say I told a lie. And not even an important one. Let's say I just told a lie. If I said to my mom, was like, what'd you have for breakfast? And let's say I had a donut, but I told her I had cereal. I'll hang up the phone, get a feeling in the pit of my stomach, call my mom back and be like, Ma, I had a donut. I'm sorry, I lied. I can't do that, but not everybody's like that.
Yeah.
But my thing is, when God, I want to apologize for all the sins that I've done well before he gets to me. Because then he doesn't have to say, hey, Dan, let's talk about this. We already talked about it. We talked about this. And you got to show and prove, right? You got to get better. And because that's the other side of it too. People believe in God and they're like, well, I could just sin every day and just say I'm sorry every day, right? I pay the meter, I take money. Yeah. I put money back, I take it back. But the thing is, if every time you put money in the bank, you take money out the bank, your balance is zero.
Yeah.
So if you keep saying, God, I'm sorry for taking it, so I put it back, but then I take it again, your balance is zero at the end of your life.
You mean like
you need to start investing.
You mean like confession, a do-over?
Yeah.
Which is religion?
Yeah, people go to confession and they just say, I'm sorry, and then they literally take 3 steps and do something bad in the parking lot.
So that means that what they knowingly did of free will, gets washed because they confess. No, doesn't work like that. But but we live in a society where we've been cast into believing that religion allows you to be able to go to confession to cleanse your soul. No BS. You knew what you were doing. You have free will. You know right from wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I try and tell my children, I try and live my life to where every time, I think before I speak, because I don't want to think. I mean, I don't want to speak.
But I think cleaning your soul helps you to go forward. And in confession for some people is an opportunity for them to start again if they actually use it that way.
Confession for me is to not do it in the first damn place, so I don't have to apologize.
Right. But we all do stuff.
Yeah, we all.
And when we do, we have to. You know what I mean? Like none of us are perfect, but like when I go, my challenge to myself is like, okay, I said it. I can't be coming back in here next week saying I did the same dang thing.
But there's levels of things you do that you have to confess to. Like me, I mean, I'll be arguing with Trish sometimes, blah blah blah, and I'll just be getting loud and say something, and I'll be like, what, I'm sorry, but all I'm apologizing for was getting loud. I mean,
You're not apologizing for how you feel.
I'm not apologizing for how I feel. I'm just
You're apologizing for how you acted. Yeah.
But some guys, whether they strike a woman or call her the B word or call her or something, like, whoa, hold on, that's a whole different level. I'm just apologizing for being loud or just just being. Or just like one time we got in an argument at a restaurant and I got up and I walked out and I stood outside for about 3 or 4 minutes because I was mad.
Yeah.
Then I came back in and I was like, I was apologizing. It's something that's simple. Whereas like I watch television, I see people in the streets and things of this nature. They do things that are over the top. I'm like, that's not the level that I'm at. Again, it's how you were raised.
Right, and it's what. And like what you said, hurt people, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes really, really good people have to work through their pain because it's resurfacing. And when it resurfaces, you accidentally are paying forward what's happened to you. Because I've done that before. I was in a relationship, I was really mean to somebody, not because I wanted to be mean, but because I wasn't okay. I didn't feel good about myself. I was hurt. I was down. My confidence was down. I felt beaten, and that's how I reacted. I reacted in such a negative way, and I was like, I hurt her feelings because I was hurt. I didn't want to hurt her, but I was hurting myself. And hurting myself, you hurt other people. And so, I think you have to learn how to. You have to understand that life is going to happen, and you can't control it. You can control you. And I said this to Carrie a couple days ago. I said, listen, you might get me upset in a conversation, but no matter what you say and what you do, I have to, and because people think, well, they got mad, I get mad. You swear, I swear. But in my thing is, no matter what you do, I have to stay. God is my witness. God is with me. I got God. I can never my dad said this to me one time. I was in a relationship, and I'm not out there hitting women. That's not my life. I said, I'm not about striking women. It's never okay. So I got mad one time. I dated a girl for a few months. I got mad. I hung up the phone. She wasn't in the room. She was 4 hours away. And I went over and I punched the door.
Oh, every young person's done that.
But my dad, I said to my dad, I go, Dad, I said, I hit the door today. He said, Daniel, remember when you used to get mad, you used to hit the door a lot? I said, yeah. I said, yeah, Dad, but I only did it once. And he goes, once is too many. He said, you need to keep your composure, son. You need to work to keep your composure. You can't even do it one time.
But that comes with wisdom, and that comes with age also. I mean.
But I love that he said to me, like, just because you didn't do it 500 times, you did it once. But guess what? She got you to a point where you lost control. Yeah. You need to keep it.
I mean,
she didn't even know you did it. You were in the room by yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
but you got to be better than that.
I mean, I tell my sons, all the time, Raphael and Jaden, it's like, you know what, guys? Honestly, if you're gonna be mad, have a good reason to be mad. Don't just be mad for no reason to your self-pleasure and ego. That's no reason to be mad, because eventually you're going to be like, you're going to come to the conclusion, you're going to come to the realization, it's like, why am I even mad? And that's the worst in the world. When you sit there and you take a second and you say to yourself, why did I even get mad? It's not that big of a deal. And you're absolutely right. Being mad is not that big of a deal because you can always change your circumstances. You can either leave the person that that you're with, that they don't make you happy. You can apologize to them, move forward, and be like, that's not even me. I don't even know why I did that.
Yeah.
And I'm at the point in my life to where now it's just like I don't get mad because it's not that big of a deal. There's so much more value in life than just being mad over something so silly and so petty that it's just. And right now we're all living on borrowed time because I'll be 55 this year, and I'm blinking my eyes, and I'm like, holy smokes, where did the time go?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my life as much as I can and not get mad, not get upset, not get
You want to know why I don't yell?
It's not worth it.
You want to know why I yell a whole lot less now? Trying to do it not at all, but you want to know why I stay calmer and I don't yell now? Because I don't like the way stress feels on my body.
Yeah.
I don't like feeling sick.
Stress is not good.
Like when I get upset and I get myself to that point, like my head hurts, my back hurts, my throat hurts, my neck, like I don't feel good. And I was like, and I realized that. I realized my octaves went higher, and I was like, my throat hurts.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I don't want to feel like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it comes down to how we are going to treat people and how we're going to treat ourselves. Don't be at the end of your life in a bed going, man, I should have done this. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? Like, none of us are perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. The people I love the most, we've all gotten in an argument, even if it was like a calm argument. My buddy Evan and I, we don't see eye to eye on everything. We've disagreed on stuff before. Like he thinks eating in the backseat of his car with like the food halfway out the window, he thought that was like a massive disrespect. I thought it was nothing. So, you know what I mean? And I was never going to spill anything in the car. But that conversation turned into something it should have never been. I had one argument with Ross in I don't even know, 12 years longer than that I've known him. But I look back 14 years that I've known him, and the thing is, I don't even know why he said what he said, and I don't think he knows why he got mad in that moment, because it lasted, it was like 3 minutes, and I was like, bro, what do you mean? And I was like, I didn't even say that, and then we just moved on. So this is what I know. When you're around people that you love and you care about, and they bring out the best in you, and you really know that they love you back. Like, I know that Carrie loves me. How do I know that Carrie loves me? Because in her, deepest, most trying moments, right? She had a tough day at work, and she's just in a bad mood, and she's down, and she's upset, and she's tired and everything. Like, I might have wanted to go to a movie, I might have wanted to do this, I wanted to do that, but she just wanted to cry. And and everything inside of me just held her.
Yeah.
And I just want to be there for her.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like, you're not going to agree with everybody. The people that you love the most, you're going to disagree with them.
I disagree a lot.
But you know what I mean? But it's like, but I told her that. I said, you want to know how I know I love you? I said, because even in the heat of an argument, there is nothing I want to do more than protect you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, and I was never like that. Not that I was mean, but when somebody got sick that I dated, I was like, when she gets sick, I literally picked her up and carried her into bed one time and put her upstairs and let her rest, asked her what she needed. Do you need me to buy anything? You want soup? And I never, and that's the type of guy I am, but I had never done that. I had never literally physically picked somebody up. And then with me, we went on vacation and I got burned first day.
Yeah.
And I used my mom's baking oil. I get tan, I'm dark. I get dark. The Hispanic Italian blood's all up in me. But I use my mom's baking oil. I have to use suntan lotion, and it doesn't stop me from getting tan. I just need it. Well, I used it, and I burned the first day. Carrie she had an after lotion, she had calamine lotion, we got hydrocortisone, and every day, she was like, baby, and she's like, no, you don't, let me put it on you. Let me do it. And then she's like, and she's doing every day, gotta be thorough. What do you need? She went and got towels. She looked up stuff on the internet. I laid in bed. She put the towels on me, take the towels off, put a new cold towel on me. This woman spent hours just making sure that I was okay.
But that's one aspect of love, definitely. But I mean, for me and Trish, it's probably because we're older also. From a standpoint, you know, and I ask her all the time, it's like, you know, how do you know I love you? And she always tells me, it's like, you know what, you put me first and you listen to me.
Yeah.
You know, and my thought is, you know, with the whole protecting spot, she's like, you know, whenever I'm around you, I feel safe. She's like, I see you. She's like, you watch everything around me. You just make sure, you know, you care about me. Your whole concept. I'm not self-absorbed in myself. If I'm around you and I care about you, I want to make sure you're safe. Yeah. When I'm around my children, I make sure they're safe. When I'm around my family, I make sure they're safe. When I'm around my loved ones and friends, I make sure they're safe. It's not that I don't value my life or value my safety and things of that nature. It's just that I know I'm a big, strong, powerful person who's done a lot of things in his life where I can be the protector. My Indian spiritual totem is a Black Panther, which is the protector, and that's just who I am. And so she said, I can always tell. She's like, you know.
Can you say that again?
My Indian spiritual totem
is the Black Panther.
It's the Black Panther.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How do you find that out?
I can find out for you.
Yeah, find out for me.
I mean, what's the animal you most connect with? You feel spiritually connected.
No, but I just love that because I'm just a massive Black Panther fan.
Yeah.
Like
I'm not talking the movie. I'm talking about the actual animal.
I know, but
Jaden's is a grizzly bear and Raphael is a hawk. Trish is a wolf.
Yeah. I wonder what I am.
I can find out. I mean, you got to tell me which animal you feel connected to. I mean, I've met people that have been dolphins, that have been beavers, that have been squirrels. That have been.
Well, it's funny because like obviously Saint Daniel was Daniel the lion's den, right? And so I've always felt a connection to my saint that has the same name. That he worshiped God, and through a loop, like the king was fine with him, but through a loophole, these people that wanted Daniel to suffer because the king liked him more and they were jealous.
Oh, shocker.
They threw him, and I can connect with that. They threw him into a lion's den, and so he sat amongst these lions and he prayed to God. And he prayed to God to protect him. And he opened his eyes and these lions were laying at his feet. And so the next day, like these, soldiers or whatever of this king, they come running down to the cage and they're like to the prison and they're thinking, we're gonna see him ripped up. This is great. We're excited. And they see Daniel just like resting amongst the lions and they're flipping out. The king is like, let him out. And he said, Daniel, from here on out, you can worship your God. Like, I'm totally fine with that. And he was like, and for doing what you did to Daniel and like using my rules against me, he threw those soldiers in with their families. And as the story goes, before the door even shut, the lions jumped on and killed them all. And the thing was, I mean, it's like, so I've always felt, because this is my thing, I'm 5'8", right? And so I joke with people all the time, like going to school, people always, oh, Dan's small. What? Why are you looking at me?
5'8", I think you gave yourself an inch.
No, I'm 5'8". That's what I was.
Okay, that's your story. We're going with that, bro.
All right, what do you want to call me? 5'7" and 3/4?
Hey, you said 5'8". We're going with your story. And you know what? I take a man at his word.
That's what I was told. So that's what I was told. 5'7" and 3/4 is what they told me. So, anywho, but I know that Maurice Jones-Drew says he's 5'8", and I'm a hair taller than him. So, anywho. Growing up, people always look to me and they're like, oh, Dan's short, and Dan doesn't fight, and Dan is this. I know that I can protect, and the people that know me know that. And that's when you talk about that with Trish, that's what makes me feel good with Carrie. And she's like, there is never a time where I don't feel safe. I don't feel protected. And I was like, it's not, and that's the thing is like, I thought growing up, I was always like emasculated, like, well, I'm not 6 foot, I'm not this, I'm not that. Now I look at myself and I go, I know I'm strong. There's many reasons how I know I'm strong inside and outside. And if anybody came, and that's the thing, if somebody came at you, I know that you can protect yourself, but I wouldn't let them get to you. Yeah. And
I want to let them get to me so I can finish it off.
No, I wouldn't let them get to you. And I remember a day where somebody was messing and you didn't hear it, and I said to you, and I'll never forget, all Rob did was this. He went to get up off the chair, and I was like this, and that was protect me.
Yeah.
But my thing is, it's like you measure a man by you measure man and woman by love, by desire, by their will to. And the world that I grew up in, it was like, you're not tall enough, you're not this, you're not that. And I look at my life now and I'm like, there is nobody that would touch my family.
Yeah.
Nobody. And I'm not a violent man.
Yeah.
But you're not, there's like a place, like my dad, somebody said something to my dad some kind of way when I was 15 years old. And I'm not somebody who goes out and gets in fights. It's not me. Somebody said something to my dad at a truck stop. I just instinctively started walking at the guy. My dad grabbed me. He was like, let's go. And I was like, Dad, he doesn't get to talk to my father like that.
Yeah.
You don't get to talk to my dad like that. You can't just say that. And then he said something as we were leaving. I went to go back. And I was like, and the thing is, I'm not one to fight, but I'm like, you know what? You can't disrespect somebody that I care about and that I love and think that that's okay. Yeah. And in today's world, the people that are the most vile at what they say are also the people that are most offended, right? The people that say the most are the people that are most offended. And it's like, why don't y'all just shut up, live your life, and stop fighting with people? There's enough stuff in this world going on that you don't need to fight with a stranger.
That's why we always say, you know, in the hood, mind your business. You know, it's like, why are you worried about somebody else's situation, you know, and tragedies or triumphs, you know, if you're not a part of their life. If you're not trying to encourage them, comfort them, you know, and give them guidance, leave them alone.
Yeah.
Leave them alone. If your life that dull, that boring, that you have to sit there, you know, and emulate, you know, what you possibly, you know, could be on somebody else or what they could possibly be on you, things of that nature. It's like, I'm not about that drama. I'm about going out here in my life, doing the best I can to educate these kids to be better adults. It's way better than I ever was, you know, because I know that's going to be a very, very good person. Educate these adults, I mean, to be just as good as I was, you know, because I know it's going to make them a better person, you know, and just be a better person myself. Every single day I walk out there, I'm not trying to be perfect because perfection is something that can never be obtained by anybody on this planet. Yeah. So if you're trying for perfection, good luck with that. Let me know, you know, let me know in the next lifetime or the next lifetime or, you know, anytime after that when it happens, because I've never seen it happen in my lifetime. But just go out there and just be a good person. And that's what I say to people all the time. Just be a good person. If you don't understand what a good person is, then you'll never achieve it.
Right. I mean, and that's the thing. It's the love and it's the passion. It's getting to a point in your life where you don't need to prove yourself anymore. You know what I mean? Where you don't feel the need to tell somebody, I'm strong, I'm smart, I'm caring. It's just go out there and be who you are. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, listen, if you don't want to get to know me, that's your funeral. Yeah. I was like, I'm a person that will, like, you could punch me in the face and be bleeding in the gutter and I will help you. Like, you don't want to piss off a person like me because the person that comes after me is not going to be as kind as me. And but that's on you. Like, in my world, put it to you like this. When I asked Carrie to marry me, I had a short list of people that I called. Yeah. And I remember where I was when I called you all. By the way, Rob's in my wedding. Hey. But
he told me that years ago too. So I knew that already.
But the thing is like, I knew exactly where I was. I know who I wanted to talk to, and I know who my brothers are. Mm-hmm. I know that, right? And to me, it was like, that is all I needed, was to have those moments. And that's the thing, is like, if you can live in a life where you have one person that you can call that makes you want to cry because of how much you love them. What you said to me, I said, Rob, will you be one of my groomsmen? Will you stand with me? And you said, bro, it would be my honor to stand next to you, where you've always been. Yeah. And to me, it was like, I didn't think you would say no, but it was like asking you that and hearing you say, like, it would be an honor. First thing in my head, I'm like, Rob, to me, is a good man. If it's an honor for him to be with me, then that makes me feel like something in my life and all the mistakes I've made and all the times I could have been better, that I've done enough to make a good man want to be a part of something. Yeah. And if you can live your life to the point where good, genuine people want to be there for you, then you're doing what you need to do. And that ain't about the money. Nope. That's not about the accolades. It's not about the likes and the tweets and the followers and the views. It's about
the fame, the selfie pics. Not about any of that.
It's about the fact that you and I have been friends since the day we met because we both decided in that half hour, hey, I like that guy. He seems nice. Hey, I like that guy. He seems nice. And then I called you and I said, I don't know if this is weird, Rob, but talking to you, I just thought like, I want to be around you, and I just felt like I want to be your friend. And you're like, no, I felt that too.
Yeah. I mean,
and that was over 10 years ago.
I mean, just for me, it's just about. I mean, the one thing I'm brutally honest.
Yeah.
And I'm brutally honest for the simple fact that it'll weed out those that are really my good friends and those that are really my fake friends.
Yeah.
So people who are my real friends understand that I am who I am. I'm not changing for anybody. I mean, I have my ups and downs, my highs and lows. I have my good days and my bad days. But I'm a kind-hearted, genuine person that would do anything for anybody until you do me wrong. And if you do me wrong, I'm not going to sit there and want to destroy you or belittle you or hurt you or things of that nature. I just leave you alone. I keep my distance away from people who I feel spiritually I don't vibe with. I don't wish them ill will or anything like that. I just don't want to be around them, and that's my choice. I choose to do that,
I tell people that all the time. I said, people that know me know that if I'm not fond of somebody, I don't defame them,
no, I don't either.
Slander them, libel them. I don't publicly embarrass them.
There's no need to.
I don't try to ruin their life. I don't swear and yell and scream. You know what I do when I don't like somebody?
I just keep my distance. I keep it moving.
I don't say anything. I keep my silence.
Keep it moving.
I said, if you're with me and you see somebody, and they come up to, oh, Dan! And I go like this, how you doing? And I keep walking, then you know.
I keep it moving.
I keep it moving.
I mean, it's like...
you don't need to be mean to people, but you don't need to be around those people.
I mean, I was explaining to a colleague today out at the airport, and I was trying to explain the situation to him, to where it's like, what, and I told him, it's like, what, how you can tell how you truly care about somebody, and what you feel about that person, what, let them die and see how you feel. I mean, and I don't mean this in a bad way or a way that's discerning to anybody else. There are people who've been died before that have been like, oh, that's sad. Never even thought about it again.
Yeah.
Whereas there have been people who've died before and I've been like, and it hurt me inside, and I was like, wow, I cared about that person a lot more, a lot more than I thought. So and it's not to take away from anybody, because I think all life is precious. But there are some people who's just that I'm like, if they're here, they're here. If they're not, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. And I don't mean anything bad about that. I'm not going to be the reason that they die. That's something they have to deal with God Himself. But then there are people also that I know. That if I lost them, it would hurt like hell right inside there. So that's what true love is. That's what true caring and concern is.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Mother's Day this year. Mother's Day, it was like midnight. Carrie was sleeping, and I was on Twitter. And Syracuse said, we join the Eastern Michigan fan, whatever, in honoring the loss of Fred Reed.
Yeah.
Well, Fred Reed's my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And Fred Reed and I got to know each other over the last couple of years. He used to be DB's coach here at SU, and he's been at Eastern Michigan ever since. We just talked on Easter. He was just on the show before that. When he died, I got off my bed, I sat on my floor, and I just started crying.
Okay.
And Carrie had moved, and I said, babe. She said, what? I said, my friend just died. That's all I said. I said, my friend died.
Yeah.
And she grabbed me, and she said, get up here. And she lifted me up, and she put me on her chest. And she was just like, it's okay. And she told me, she said, listen, she's like, I know you're sad. She's like, but your friend right now is telling you not to cry because he is happy. He is in a good place. He's not hurting anymore. I'm sure he was a good man.
Yeah.
But the thing was, when he died, I feel it now. I felt it. I felt that. And Jay Hammerin, my teacher in school, majority of the reason why I chose Marywood University, when he passed away, I couldn't even stand up.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So I know what you're saying, and it's not a mean thing. It's like,
no, it's not.
You know who your people are.
Yes.
When something happens, right? Like when you need somebody, and they show up, and on top of that, they show up without being asked to show up.
Yeah.
Like when my grandmother passed away, there were people that cared because I told them she died.
Yeah.
There were people that cared because I reached out to them, and there were people. One of my friends, as a kid, we grew up, we grew apart. I was always good to him. He wasn't always good to me.
Yeah.
He disappeared out of my life. He was in it for 14, out of it for 14. When my grandmother passed away, and I stood there, and I remember exactly where I was standing, and I was there at the casket. And we were getting ready, and we were putting our gloves on to take her. And he put his hand on my back, and I just, in that moment, I hadn't really cried, and in that moment, I cried, and I bent down, and he put his hand on my back, and he said, "It's going to be okay, D." And he always called me D.
Yeah.
And that's my buddy James. And in that moment, I was like, I wondered if a person like him would be there for me in a moment like that, and he was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then there's other people that I thought would have been there, and not even a phone call.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, you find out the real when people check in.
It's not hard.
You know what I mean? Like, we'll just call. I mean, you've called me before. You're like, "Hey kid, we haven't just want to see what's up."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, I felt the need to call you at times where I'm just like, I haven't talked to Rob in a while. I just want to see how he's doing.
Yeah.
You know, like, I just want to see what's going on. Like, those.
Choo. I'm all over the place. Here, I'm there. Oh.
But it's those phone. But you know what I mean? It's
Yeah, I get it.
the people in your life that call you just to say hi. Those are your people.
Yeah. Yeah, just to check in on you, to see how's everything doing. How everything
Yeah,
going.
like Evan's in Chicago, and I knew he was going to Chicago, and I just saw him in Florida.
Yeah.
But I texted him, and like, first thing when I got back, I was like, I want to know how Chicago's going. Like, how you doing? Are you having fun? You all right? What do you need? Like, I wanted to make sure he was having a good time.
I mean,
because I just needed to know.
You know, I mean, a fake friend is someone who calls all the time, who acts like they're concerned. A real friend is someone who calls once a month, you know, once every 2 months, once every 3 months, with a real concern, just to see how you're doing. Hey, bro, just call to see what you're doing. Everything's good. Blah blah blah. You talk for about 2 or 3 minutes, conversation over. As opposed to somebody who keep you on the phone for an hour, and be like, man, it's now you're reaching. Now you're just trying to make yourself feel good by talking to me for this long. It's like, nah, I'm good.
You also think about it from the perspective of, like, how many people like a post that you put up when something big happens in your life. Like I said to Carrie, I said there's over 400 people that liked our engagement post. But how many people did I talk to, Rob? Like 10?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's not like, I'm not trying to disrespect, but I, you know what I look at the fact as? Like, I called my groomsmen, and obviously we called her parents, my parents, and we called my other set of parents, Papa, Joe, and Mary. But besides that, you want to know the people that I'm like, wow. The people that texted me and called me after they saw it on Facebook, that they didn't just like it. My Aunt Donna called me. She's like, "Hey, I want to congratulate you. I got text messages from people. I got a text message from a girl. I was her orientation advisor at Marywood. And she texted me. She knows I love Disney. And she texted me, "Congratulations, I'm so happy for you." And then she's like, "How are you doing? How's everything?" And she's like been talking to me and let me know how her kids are doing, how her family's doing. And like, literally, there are people that texted me that I thought would not even like a post. And then there's people that like that post that I'm like, man, they didn't even call me. You know what I mean? So like, but you know what, Rob? We get to a point in life where you and I are the type of people where if nobody texts us or if everybody texts us, I'm good.
Yeah,
I got him.
I'm fine.
I got an ace in the hole. I got God.
Fine, you know?
I got God. I got my best friend God. I'm good. I don't need anybody. Bro, you put me on a beach by myself, I'm still gonna get tan.
I don't get it. I don't get caught up in the drama of others as far as needing likes and needing texts, because at the end of the day, I like me.
Right.
And God.
And we're gonna be who we are.
God understands that I like me. And with me liking me, I mean, I don't harm women. I don't harm kids. I don't harm animals. I'm an animal lover. So it's like, am I perfect? Hell no. I'm far from perfect. But you know what? I try. I mean, and as long as I keep trying, as long as he keeps giving me another day, I can try again today. If he gives me tomorrow, I can try again tomorrow. If he gives me Thursday, I can try again Thursday. So as long as God keeps giving me a day, I can keep trying to be a better version of myself than I was the day before. And that's how I look at life, and that's what I tell my children.
That's all we can do. You know,
That's all you can.
it's about being the best
Improve.
that you can be. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be the best you.
Here's the thing: improve each day.
Yeah. Like if I wake up in the morning and I think about it to myself, I'm like, okay, what did I do yesterday that I can do better today? And those answers, if you're honest with yourself, my dad told me a long time ago, he's like, you can never be blatantly honest with yourself. I said, that's not true.
Yeah, you can.
I said, I'm blatantly honest with myself every day. He goes, Daniel, you don't tell yourself when you're wrong. I was like, yes, I do. I wake up in the morning today and I said to myself, you know what, Daniel? You know what you can do tomorrow? You can wake up a little bit earlier. You know what I also want you to do? I weed whacked for the first time yesterday. Because normally when I mow the lawn, I just try to go up against the fence as much as I could. And if I can't get it, oh well. Yesterday, my neighbor came over and helped me weed whack. You know what I thought to myself? My neighbor has offered me so much, helped me out so much out of the goodness of his heart. I want to call him, text him today. I want to say, you know what? Why don't you and your lady come over for dinner? You guys have done a lot. I'd love to cook for you guys because you know what? It goes both ways, and it's been an honor for me to be next to you here because the neighbors that were here before, they would say hello, this and that, but you know, I've never had a neighbor who genuinely is like, how can I help you? And ask for nothing. When I got locked out of my house, and it was cold as all get out, who put me in his house, who let me use his phone, who brought my dog in the house, fed my dog, gave me water, asked me what I needed, like, who tried to open the back door with me. I mean, it's like, yesterday I thought to myself, you know what? I can weed whack more. Thought about that. I thought about, I can clean up this house. I can start getting rid of, I got way too many clothes and there's a rescue mission somewhere that needs them. Yeah. So I need to get rid of some of these clothes so that I can clothe somebody else. And I don't care how nice they are. I don't care if they have tags on them. I don't need them. And I mean, there's things like that. Like yesterday was the first day back from vacation and I felt really accomplished. I did laundry. I mowed both lawns. I weed whacked. I started to I was doing all this stuff and I thought, wow, as tired as I am, I did all this. But you know what I could do better tomorrow? I need to go to bed earlier because I was really, really tired and I stayed up late. You know, there's always something, and I'm not afraid to ask that question, right? I'm not afraid to say, hey, Rob, how can I be a better friend? And I know what you would say. Stop being late.
Yeah, that's just, Patricia's the same way. But you know what? At the end of the day, a good person is a good person, whether they're late, whether they're early, whether they come in with a face all popped out. You know, good people are good people, and they're believe it or not, they're hard to find.
They're very hard to find.
You know, they're hard to find. You know,
I told Carrie, I said, I'm totally fine being alone for the rest of my life instead of settling, because I settled once and I paid for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, even with Trish, man, I always tell her, it's like, you know, I love her to death because she's a good person. You know, she goes out of her way to help others, even though when you can go out of your way to help somebody else and they don't deserve it, you're a good person.
Yeah.
You truly are, because that takes a lot. For me, I mean, for me to forgive the man that murdered my father, like everybody tells me, it makes me a good person. It really does. You know, that is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. But it's like, you know what? It's not for him to take away my power. I mean, to live. That's, right. You know, that's God. So I'm not going to allow him to take away my power. So in God's eye, you know, God forgave us all. You know, well, not me, but for killing his son. You know, for putting Jesus on the cross and stoning him to death. Yeah. That wasn't me, but it's like, you know, but yet he still forgave, you know, us as man. You know, so
he died so we could be forgiven.
Yep. You know, so I
look at this.
Who am I to be bigger and more powerful than him? I'm not. You know, I'm not that arrogant. Sorry, I'm not arrogant at all.
I had to forgive the woman that tried to kill me, and almost succeeded.
Yeah.
I had to sit there, and I had to forgive somebody who looked me in the eye and was okay attempting to take the life of another person. I had to forgive that.
Yeah.
And I had to, when my grandfathers died when I was 6, I was mad. I was more mad at God than I've ever been, and I had to find peace with that. I had to find peace with going through divorce. You know, going through somebody who, after 7.5 years, I realized was never even my friend.
Yeah.
Like when she left, she left.
Oh, bro, I mean,
she didn't call once and say like, hey, You all right? How you doing? How's Lily? Nothing. When she left, it was done. And I thought to myself, I don't want her. But you know, the saddest part of it is I was like, I, to this day, hope she's happy. I hope only good things for her. I want her to have a great life.
But here's the thing, why would you wish bad on her or hurt on her?
Right. But that's the thing is like, I, at the end of it all, was like, I hope you're happy. I wouldn't choose to live life the way you do, but I hope you're happy. And I was like, you couldn't even, after everything you did and after everything you broke, after every lamp you broke and didn't fix and left for me to glue together on the ground, at the end of it all, you couldn't even just say, hey, I'm sorry.
But that's just who she is.
Right. But you know what?
But you can't dwell on that and worry about that.
No.
She's not changing. It's who she is.
Right. But it's like when you realize those things and you decide, like, there's people that in those moments, they wish hell on those people. I don't wish anything bad
I wish
on anybody.
I wish bad on
and what you went through is undeniably insane.
I wish bad.
There's stuff that I went through in my life that I literally look back on it like, how the hell did I get through it? I think everybody has a story of something where it's like, oh my God, how did you do that? You know, Carrie and I sit and talk, and we talk about, you know, like stuff that she's gone through, and I'm just like, and look at the person you are though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and I love the people that tell me, well, I had a bad parent, and so I'm just, you know.
That's an excuse.
Yeah, so I just act the way that they do because that's how I was built.
I had a bad teammate, so that means I should play bad also?
Three of the best people that I know. A mother who slept with someone she wasn't supposed to and gave the baby up for adoption and hid herself for years. That woman, that baby, one of the best people I know. Mm-hmm. Shout out Maureen. Ross, father left at 3 years old. One of the best people I know and one of the greatest fathers I know. Evan, the last time I saw his dad, we were at Disney, Animal Kingdom. His dad walked by him like he didn't even know his son. One of the kindest hearts I know. So I know that everyone that I've seen witness tragedy, actually here you go. Not only do the people that I know that have been through tragedy, not only do I know that they're good people, they're the closest people to me. You, Ross, Evan, the people that I know have been through the most are not only the best people, they're the people that I stay closest to.
The struggle brings understanding, and I don't think a lot of people get that. I mean, when you struggle with something, especially spiritually and emotionally, I mean, it opens up so many portals for you to understand what life really is about. You know,
and you don't wish it on them, but you can tell when you date somebody. No. You can tell, like I've dated girls where I'm like, man, y'all have not experienced life. Like, if this is how you view life, you have no idea the value of it.
Yeah. I mean,
not that I want anything to happen, but it's like you treat life like you can dictate to life what life is going to do.
Yeah.
Like I remember I called my parents one day and I was like, man, this girl, she hasn't lived yet and she's almost 30. I was like, I feel bad for this girl. Like, she's 29 years old and she thinks that she can tell God what to do and he gonna do it.
That's this generation. That's it. What they got? Not Generation X, but what do they call them?
Millennials.
Millennials, yeah. They have their work cut out.
Yeah.
Oh, they really do. They have their work cut out. Everything's fast. Everything's instant. You know, they don't have to wait for anything. They don't have to work for anything. It's just like, I want my cup of tea now. You know, it's just like their news is instant. Their cars is instant. Everything is instantaneous and right there.
And they raise their kids by handing them an iPad at 3 years old.
Hand them an iPad, hand them a phone, and, you know, just like social media. And
if you let the world raise your kid,
you're in trouble.
I'm gonna tell you right now. If you let your world raise your kid, you owe Rob and I and everybody else an apology, because that kid's gonna be a problem.
You're in a lot of trouble.
So, gotta raise them right.
A lot of trouble.
I love when my mom used to open the door on Saturday. Go outside, it's nice.
Yeah.
That's all she said. Yeah. Go outside, it's nice. What do you want me to do, Ma? Whatever you want to do. Go play in the dirt, play basketball, play baseball, go throw the ball to yourself, go see what James is doing, get together. You want to come swimming? You want to come with me to the store? So I live for Saturdays. I would go with my mom. We would go to the mall. We go in the pool. I go play basketball. I get my friends together. Like, I had a sleepover to go see my grandma. Go outside.
Yeah.
That was it. Go outside. Till when? Till dinner.
Yeah. Oh, trust me,
You
I
better
get it.
have your butt in at dinner time, but you go out till dinner time.
Trust me, I get it. I understand it. I do. I mean, it's a different day and time we live in. You know, as I said before, I'll be 55 this year, and I see, you know, back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, way different time than it is now. You know, entirely different. You know, but
Bro, I miss the 80s.
I miss 80s music.
I miss the. Would you say you miss the 80s music?
80s music. Oh, I love 80s music.
I love. Okay, what I realized was in 1992. So both of my grandfathers died in 92. Shout out Pop Cavino and Pop Miller. Both of them died in 1992. That whole year is just a couple moments of them, and that's all I remember. I went back to songs that I love and movies that I love. You know how crazy 1992 is? Like, all these songs and all these movies that I love, I didn't know they came out in 92 because I was only focused on my grandfathers. I find it funny how, like, all of these things that make me happy, all these years later, I find out they came at a time where, like, tragedy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's a loss, yeah.
And, like,
I told you, I mean, tragedy and struggle bring out understanding.
but it's funny too, and it's funny how, like, my grandfathers, to this day, 30 years later, they show up. Like, they keep showing up. And with everything going on and decisions I'm making in my life, both sets of my grandparents have been, like, doing things to the point where if you think it's a coincidence, it's like, but it happened 3 times.
Yeah.
But it happened like this, but it happened like that. Like, it's just, and then yesterday, I saw my mom, came back from vacation, saw my mom, first time seeing my mom since I got engaged.
I saw your mom yesterday.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, so we went and got some food, and you get the number, we sit down, and I go, Ma, look at the number. So what is it? 13. Her father's number, my grandfather's number. The first time that we ate, first time we get to talk face to face after all that, here's Grandpa again. Grandpa's been showing up like 100 times, all these different ways. And you know, it's like, and I said to my mom yesterday, because everybody has ups and downs and around the corners, and I've yelled at my mom yells at me, whatever. And I was looking at my mom yesterday when she was talking, and I was like, I'm so thankful that my mom is alive and coherent and has her faculties to talk to me. I didn't care what we talked about yesterday. I didn't care what it was about. All I thought when I was looking at my mom was I wanted to cry. I'm like, God, I love this woman.
Yeah.
And when she went to her car, I hugged her and I said, thank you for being a great mom. Not a good mom. I said, thank you for being a great mom. Thank you for being my first best friend. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for putting up with me.
Yeah.
Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for encouraging me, telling me that I could be what I want to be. Thank you for believing in my dreams and my aspirations. Thank you for supporting everything that I do. You know, I just thought about that yesterday. I thought about, you know what, Daniel? From here on out, whatever's happened up to this point, you're going to hug that woman, and every single day, even when you look at her like, Ma, why you say that? Why are you doing that? I'm just going to hug her and I'm going to go, Ma, you know what? I'm so thankful to God that you're alive.
Yeah.
I'm just so happy you're here. And when I called my dad and I was on the phone with my dad, I remember something that somebody said. There was a message that said, and it had like Mom and Dad on the phone, and it said, if you can still do this, and like they come up on your phone and like you can still talk to them, you're blessed today.
Yeah.
I saw my phone and it said Dad's cell, and I thought, and I was talking to my dad and I thought to myself, I go, I love the fact, and I'm always going to love the fact that I can do this. I love the fact that I'm looking at my phone right now, my father's alive, and I can talk to him.
Yeah. I don't have that luxury.
And I tell people that all the time with their grandparents. I said, listen, if you have grandparents alive, I need you to call them. I need you to go visit them. And I said, when you kiss them and you hug them, I said, you need to kiss them 40 times, you need to hug them 40 times. I said, and then when you go to walk out that door, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to turn around and do what I did. Run back in that house, and you hug them and you kiss them again. My G-Mama, I would kiss her like crazy, and then I would go to leave, I'd shut the door, I'd run back in, and she'd go, she's like, what? I go, I got to kiss you again. I give her a kiss, and she's like, are you ever going to leave? And I'm like, I'll leave when I'm ready.
Yeah.
And she, okay. You know, but I couldn't kiss her enough. And I tell you, Rob, when she passed away, I did not have a regret inside of me that I didn't go in there. Because every time I felt in my gut to run back, I did it with my mom and my dad recently. I did it with my dad recently. He went to his car, and I ran across the parking lot and gave him another hug.
Yeah, I always do it with my sons also. I do it with my sons every time I see them. Hey guys, I give them a hug and kiss, you know, and when I leave, all right guys, talk to you later, give them a hug and kiss, you know.
And it's, I mean, it's just, life is not as hard as we make it. And I
for some.
No, but I mean like loving people.
Oh no, it's
caring
not.
about people.
It's not.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying life is what it is. We don't need to make it more hard.
But a lot of people can't love themselves, so they don't know how to love others.
Right. Well, that's the thing, you know, or somebody, you know, I've met people, been around people where they love strangers.
Yeah.
They take care of people. They take care of strangers like it's their mom, and they love you.
Yeah.
And then they'll look you in the eye and they'll tell you, I love you to the high heavens. I can't lose you for anything, but I don't love myself.
Yeah.
You know, and I was taught you can't love anybody unless you love yourself. But then I've met people that like, they love you to the point where they would die without you. And then you see them with themselves and you look at them and you go, you gotta love you.
And that's a person who's lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely lost. You know, that's a person who needs to sit down and talk with someone and just, you know, because in order, I mean, loving others is only going to last for so long because it's just a window dressing. You got to be able to love yourself in order to live a life to where, because just loving others is not, you know, and not loving yourself is going to cause, you know, disease, and you know, it's going to make you sick. It's going to be, because your well-being is not going to be well taken care of. You got to take care of yourself first before you know and ever take care of anybody else.
And that's the thing is like I've seen people that can care about others, but I look at them and I'm like, man, you got to help you.
Yeah.
And I said it, and it clicked with somebody. I said recently, I said, you take care of everybody, and that means something to you.
Yeah.
I said, but if you don't take care of you to the point where you're not here anymore, who's going to take care of them?
Yeah.
I said, if you really care about taking care of them, you're not going to be here to do it.
It's true. That's one thing I realized even after my father's murder, and I was just spiraling. It's like, you know, I had to take care of myself first, and I had to take care of myself first because I needed to be here for my loved ones. So I had to take care of me first. I worked on me. I got me where I need to be. Now I can, now that I'm fine, well, now that I'm fine, I can perpetuate all the love I want to on my family, my friends, and everybody else because I'm fine.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I took 1.5 years during COVID. Healthy mind, healthy body, healthy mind.
Okay.
I took 1.5 years, and I tell you, I don't need anybody to tell me what I did. But I can't tell you how many times both of my parents separately, by themselves, without knowing the other person said, they both my mom and dad, they're like, you have worked on yourself so much. And my mom told me, she goes, I will never let somebody take away what you built, because what you have done for you, and it wasn't that I was a bad person.
Yeah.
I just didn't treat myself good. I treat everybody else good. And my parents tell me, they're like, we will not stick by and watch somebody take you down.
Yeah.
Because you have come so far. And I've come so far that I can look at somebody who's where I was.
Yeah, and you can tell.
And I can tell them, like,
they stand out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, and I tell them, like, listen, you are not a bad person, but you have to put your ego down, you have to put your stubbornness down, and you got to talk it out.
Yeah.
And you got to get right.
Yeah.
Because you can't, if you hurt yourself, you hurt everybody around you. You hurt everybody that loves you.
Yeah.
If you're not good to you, you hurt everybody. That's one thing I know. When you don't love you, you accidentally, you hurt everybody.
It is true.
You know, and it's, I mean, you get told enough you don't matter, you start believing it. I've been there. But when you realize your worth and you realize that God called you by name and you are His.
Yep.
it doesn't matter what anybody has to say about nothing. And you can tell them, I tell people all the time, I go, there ain't nothing wrong with going to therapy. There's nothing wrong with going and talking to God. There's nothing wrong with going to church and praying. There's nothing wrong with going to your bedroom and praying. There's no, you talk it out. But you know what? Things can only go so far until you make that decision. And the day I realized I love myself, I will never forget that day. Because I know where I was, I know what I was doing, and it was one of the greatest feelings to literally put my hands up and say to God, I love myself.
Yeah. I mean, that's a powerful affirmation.
Because you don't need anybody to love you after that.
You do not. As long as you love yourself.
I tell people all the time, you want to go? The door right there. Like, I'm not going to push you out the door, but if you want to leave, go ahead.
I have no problem with people working out of my life because that's their choice. It's just at the end of the day, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be okay. The simple fact that I'm here standing, still strong, still powerful, still a force, still speaking. So after losing my father to murder, it tells me all I need to know about myself.
And the thing is, I said, if I say this sentence to you, I'm done. If I say, do you, boo-boo. Yeah. Do you. Go do you. Do you.
I always people say, that's cool.
Do you think?
That's cool. I mean,
do you think? Listen, I am a proud Toronto Raptors fan. I'm a proud Jacksonville Jaguars fan. I'm a proud Syracuse native. I am a proud Christian. I love God more than anything in my life. And if I piss off everybody in the world by saying that, I lose every follower I have, I don't care. Because I don't need followers. Jesus needs followers. On top of that, I love my friends. My friends are my family. If you're my friend and you're not my family, you're not my friend.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. And I love my dog. I love her. She is my daughter. She is my kid. I don't say she's my daughter. No, she is my daughter. I treat her as my daughter. I love her as my daughter. I would die for that dog. I would do anything for Lily. I don't see her as anything but Lily. She's not Lily, my dog. She's Lily. And I think about her every day. I love my grandfathers. I love my grandmothers. I think about them all the time, every day. Man, dude, I love playing basketball. I love singing. I will work on a Spider-Man movie one day. I will write in that movie, and I will make a movie that is kick some tail, awesome, and we will go see it together, and you'll be on the red carpet, And I know the people that I love to pieces, and that's me. I know exactly who I am, and I know what I like, and I don't care what anybody thinks about it.
I don't either.
My music taste is all over the place. And if I want to sing to O-Town, and then I want to turn on Marvin Gaye, I don't care what you think. Genuinely don't care.
Someone's opinion does not affect my life or change who I am as a person. So.
And the thing is, listen, you're going to listen to that music, whether or not, and if that person tells you don't listen to it, but you really want to listen to it, you're going to go somewhere in secret and listen to it anyways. You're going to be you no matter what. So, what does it matter? And things come full circle, bro.
They do.
I cannot tell you how much in my life the people that treated me the poorest are now the ones that have come to me, no joke, and have said, I need you.
Yeah.
I'm need me for what?
Funny how that works.
All those people that disappear because they're too big for you, they always come back around. Oh, hey, how you doing? I saw blah, blah, blah. I'm always nice.
Yeah.
But listen, when you walked out that door, it's shut.
Yeah.
That's your choice.
Never try and never burn bridges.
Yeah, never burn bridges. They want to burn them, let them burn them. But I ain't gonna burn nothing.
All I want. I mean, it's not me.
Don't burn nothing. I treat everybody with respect.
I treat everybody the way I want to be treated.
Do I have moments? I had a moment. I had a moment at the Tower of Terror. It was downpouring. Carrie and I were drenched. We waited for an hour to get on this one ride. We couldn't get on it. They gave us a pass. I felt bad for the people that left line before us because those people didn't get a pass and that wasn't fair to them. But we got a pass and there was an hour left and we walked across to the other side of the park. We got there. Carrie got there before I did. She said something to the guy and the guy goes like this. He pushed her back. He goes, no, you can't come on. And I walked up to him. I go, we have two. He goes, yeah, no, not for this ride. I said, the heck we don't. I said, yeah, they are for this ride. He's like, no. He said, normally these passes don't work for this. I said, and I know that I was not kind when I said, I would walk
I said, I would walk to the other side of the park to have this not work. I said, you really think I'd walk all the way over here? I said, I know these work. They put them on, and then he went, oh yeah. He goes, oh, they do, but usually they don't. Huh? Have a great night. And I was like, but I didn't say it. But you know what I mean? Like, I said to my mom, I go, Mom, why? Especially to strangers, especially to people you will never see again. Why are people so freaking mean? You know, it's like, you don't need to talk to my girlfriend, like my fiance, like that. You don't have to do that. And the thing is, when I came up to you, he's like, well, it doesn't work here. I was like, yes. And I showed it to him, and he's like, oh, well, let me check. Then we had another downpour, lost part of my windshield wiper. I was drenched. I had to go buy new clothes, changed. By the way, these are first world problems, like whatever, no big deal. I didn't care. I'm like, whatever. I'm going to go get some sandals. I'm going to put some shorts on. I go downstairs. The lady goes, you're not on the reservation list. I go, ma'am, I know I'm on the list. The lady checked me in at the gate. Oh, you're not showing up. Let me check this way. No, you're not showing up. Let me check this way. And then she's kind of like sounding almost like she's not going to let us in. And we're all dressed up. And she's like, ah. And then she's like, well, do you have any other? I was like, I have my email. I show her my email. She looks at the email and she goes, well, you're still not coming up in the system, but I'm going to let you in because I see it on your email. I go,
yeah, it's on my email. So.
Thank you? I was like, it doesn't take nothing for you to just be like, listen.
Some people are just not worth the energy to even stress about it.
But I look at people, I'm like, why are y'all so angry?
Like I said, when they stand in front of God and God asks them, let's look at your body of work. Nope. Okay, you're in. Nope. A lot of those people are in for a shock.
Yeah.
Shock of their lives.
Well, God's like, you met 1,000 people a day at Disney and you were mean to 972 of them. Like,
a lot of people living here for a shock of their lives when they die because they think they're good and they're not. I'm kind, caring, concerning to every single person on this planet because no one is more important than anybody else. They're not. They think they are until they die. When we all die, we're all the same. You know what's going to judge us for getting into heaven or not? Our body of work here. A lot of people ain't gone.
I said your soul is your currency.
Yep.
And then you take it out if it's black.
Yep.
If it's all tarred and, by the way, speaking of black and Gore the God Butcher and all that, because of the alien symbiote like Venom, you and I like those movies. Yeah. Did you see the new Thor preview? The one that came out yesterday?
I did not.
Gotta watch it, Rob. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So good. Did you see Spider-Man No Way Home?
Yes.
You did?
I did.
Did you like seeing all three Spider-Men in one movie?
It was a little odd, but it was still pretty cool.
Did you see Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
You did? The new one?
I didn't. No, I didn't. Oh, I thought you meant in the movie, but
yeah.
No, I didn't see Doctor
You didn't see the new one?
No.
New one's crazy. Not as good as Spider-Man. But
Spider No Way Home. It was interesting.
Can I do this though? Because you didn't see this. I want to show you what I bought. I always, and this is another thing about.
I saw those. Seeing where we're sitting here.
No, these. I just
socks?
bought these. Yeah. So speaking about being who you are and not apologizing, I always wore white socks because I wanted to wear stuff, but then I was like, oh, I don't want people to make fun of me, this, that, whatever. I wear whatever I want now. My socks are crazy, my sock game. So you can see it right here. My Toronto Raptors, this is the old logo, the original logo jersey socks. Because you played with Toronto, so I'll show you some love and all that. But I just want people to know, like, be who you are, be proud of it, and also shameless plug to the amazing city of Toronto, which I call New York City if it smelled good.
Yeah, Toronto's a great city.
Toronto's beautiful, bro.
Toronto's a good. I lived there 3 years.
Where did you live?
I lived in Mississauga.
Oh, okay.
It's a suburb outside of Toronto.
Yeah, Mississauga. I know Mississauga. Mm-hmm. So you lived in a suburb outside of Toronto, played for the Argonauts. Mm-hmm. What was like your favorite part of? Because this is what we're talking about decades ago, right?
Yes.
But like, have you been up recently? I know COVID, they haven't let anybody in or out.
I went up a couple years ago, right before COVID. They had a reunion of the '96-'97 team, which they call the greatest team in Toronto in the CFL history.
Yeah.
So we had a reunion with those guys, and it's just the one part of that city that I truly loved was just Mississauga was quiet. It was like a college campus, It's just great people out there,
Yeah.
Downtown Yonge Street, just walking up and down, see the hustle and bustle of people just living their lives, trying to have fun, things of that nature. I just think being at the time, it was called the Sky Dome, which is the Rogers Center now. At the time, it was called the Sky Dome.
It was the Sky Dome. It was you, the Blue Jays, and the Raptors at one point.
No, the Raptors were across the street at the basketball.
They didn't play in the Sky Dome?
No. Nope.
So it was the Maple Leafs, the Blue Jays, and the Argonauts?
No, the Maple Leafs have their own stadium also.
But no, I mean, in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
In the beginning. Because now there's the Air Canada Center.
Yes.
But Toronto originally started in the Sky Dome, and the Blue Jays and the Argonauts, everybody was in the same place.
Correct.
And it was here, and now the Rogers Center is like open, different now, and Toronto is literally like the Raptors and the Maple Leafs are right down the road at the Air Canada Center. And one of the coolest things, because I am such a massive fan of dinosaurs, of Jurassic Park, of Raptors, and of the Toronto Raptors, that you bring it all together. And what do they call the place right outside of the Air Canada Center where the fans that couldn't get in watch? They call it Jurassic Park.
Yeah, Jurassic. I remember that.
Love that. I cannot wait for the new Jurassic World movie because I like Raptors.
Yeah. I've seen that. What kind of Raptors? Velociraptors?
All of them.
Yeah.
The Velociraptor's blue, but like I don't know, there's something about the logo and about Toronto, and I'm a huge Damon Stoudemire fan. Shout out to D-Stod because he is with the Celtics now as an assistant coach.
Player hater.
What?
I said a player hater. Him and Marcus Camby, but that's another story for another day. I'm not going to get into right now.
Well, Damon Stoudemire wasn't nice?
They were up there when I was playing. They were
They weren't nice to you guys?
They didn't have to be nice to me. It was just situations that happened at nightclubs before and how those guys were. And it's like, dude, it's not that serious. You want to talk to her, bro. It's not even haters.
Okay.
Different story at different time.
Okay. Fair enough. Sad. But, no. But, I mean, I think Toronto's a beautiful city. We've talked about everything about life, and it brought us through 2 hours like nothing. I do want to make a note here. The Dome is going to have a new name.
Yep.
We did promise we talked about this. JMA Wireless 10-year plan. Not the Dome. It's been the Carrier Dome. It hasn't been a Carrier. It's been the Carrier Dome since 1980. Mm-hmm. You played in it, and I grew up in it. So, and I got to be a part of the reopening. The Dome's only opened twice. It opened in December of 1980, and it opened in September of 2020. And so it's now the JMA Wireless Dome. They're supposed to have upgrades to their internet. Lord help us. They're finally taking out the seats that make your butt fall asleep and are cold as all get out, the cement and steel and all that. And there's going to be individual seating now.
I saw that.
So we're going to have individual seating. There's going to be an upgrade to all that. There's going to be an upgrade to the wireless connectivity, hopefully. And we've already seen the outside of the Dome, and we've seen a bunch of upgrades on the inside. And there's going to be an outside pavilion of type that is going to allow for more of a fan experience. Mm-hmm. So the three major things are the internet and the network as far as connectivity, what's going to be outside the Dome as far as, fan enjoyment and something to hopefully bring tailgating here. And then the other piece of it is going to be the fact that there's going to be individual seats now. Mm-hmm. And now it's going to be the JMA Wireless Dome. So what do you think?
Name change is always good. It's something new, something refreshing, something for people to cling to now, to get out with the old, in with the new. But at the end of the day, the product inside still got to be what gets people to the door. Sorry, naming it the JMA Wireless Dome is not going to bring more people to the to a dome stadium. The product
Welcome here to Wake Call with Dan Tortora on site on location at Cafe.
And that's the truth. It's like you said, it's the product.
Correct.
And I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say it doesn't matter what they call it, what they make the seats look like. I mean, think about it. They made the inside of that place acoustically and visually look absolutely beautiful, and the team still didn't make a bowl game.
Nope. So we'll see.
The basketball team had its worst season ever under Jim Boeheim. So, you still got to put it out on the court in the field.
Yep.
Got to do the work.
Yes, you do.
So with that being said, always doing work, the man who proudly also wears a fisherman hat like me, Rob Drummond, Syracuse CFL, NFL, CNY native. CNY native here, 18-plus year broadcaster, 15-plus year pro. Rob Drummond, myself, Dan Tortora, two very proud Central and Upstate New York natives. If you want to know about helping the city, being there for the city, being there for this community,
You got two people that are always willing to help you. Come to us, message us, talk to us on social media. Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, Twitter at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. For now, from Cafe Kubal, we want to thank you for being a part of the show. Cafe Kubal is here with you on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, 343 Fayette Street, and Rob's neck of the woods in Manlius, and at the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in their drive-through location in North Syracuse. You can watch and listen to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora live every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on YouTube.com, Facebook.com, and MixLR.com, all /Wake Up Call DT, as well as WakeUpCallDT.com and on Facebook.com /Live Now DT. Once the shows go live, you can check them out in the archives: Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podbean, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, YouTube, MixLR, and now added onto Amazon Music and Audible. You can also ask your Alexa and Google devices to play the latest episode of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. And a proud thanks to all of our Central and Upstate New York partners: Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Avicoli's, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, as well as PB&J's Lunchbox, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Mon Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, Honda City of Liverpool, Millhouse Market, Pizza Man, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, Victory Sports Medicine Orthopedics, Mother's Cupboard, and Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is also the proud multimedia marketing partner exclusively of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. It is Fins Up every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Every Wednesday at 9 a.m. is Dolphin Time. Check out AD&DT Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora, with new episodes every first and third Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Every second and fourth Wednesday, you can find us on Dolphin Dive with student athletes, coaches, future Dolphins, alumni, and administration of Lemoyne telling their stories. You can find all this by subscribing to youtube.com /WakeUpCallDT and by bookmarking the Lemoyne tab on WakeUpCallDT.com. Find out more information by going to LemoyneDolphins.com. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is also the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Marywood Pacers. It's Pacer Pride every single month, and you can find your Pacers every Friday around 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and our specials with the administration, student athletes, and coaches. Get all of our Marywood content by going to the Marywood tab on WakeUpCallDT.com, subscribing to youtube.com /WakeUpCallDT, and for more information on the Pacers, go to MarywoodPacers.com. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is also the proud exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse. Your Bobcats right up the road from where we are at Cafe Kubal right now. You will find your Bobcats playing men's and women's basketball, men's and women's soccer. They made it to the national stage for all four of those, as well as their upcoming program in their inaugural season for their baseball team. The Bobcats are here with the Bobcat Buzz with exclusive specials with administration, student athletes, and coaches every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find all of those by going to the BSC SYR tab on WakeUpCallDT.com and by subscribing to youtube.com /WakeUpCallDT. For more information on your Bobcats as they make history, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. With that being said, for Rob Drummond and myself, Dan Tortora, as always, I wish you all the best. God bless, no stress, do your best. Drum, appreciate you, brother.
Always good.
I'll talk to you soon.
No doubt, bro.